Welcome back to the Deep Dive. Today, we are taking a fascinating, and I have to say, a deeply unusual detour from our usual sources.
Yeah, this one is different.
We are not wading into economic forecasts.
Yeah.
We're not analyzing policy documents. Instead, our source material is this singular, highly detailed, immersive narrative. It's a script titled Echoes of Ancient Wisdom, a forgotten library sleep journey.
And when you shared this with me, I immediately recognized it wasn't just storytelling, not at all.
Well,
What we're looking at here is a meticulously structured piece of psychological engineering, this forgotten library. It's the ultimate cognitive tool. It's designed not by builders of, brick and mortar,
right.
but by architects of the mind, purely to guide the listener toward deep, deep rest.
And that's really the core of our mission today, isn't it?
Yeah.
We're treating this deep dive as an analysis of an architectural blueprint. We need to catalog and analyze every specific architectural, sensory, and symbolic element this script uses.
We're reverse engineering it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
We're reverse engineering the structure of internal tranquility.
And I think the surprising insight we want to deliver to you, the learner, is how seemingly simple, gentle imagery can be, rigorously structured and sequenced to become this powerful internal sanctuary. We're examining the structure and synthesis, how all these diverse calming elements are integrated to create a singular, reliable experience of safety and peace, specifically tailored for a mind that's, just seeking stillness after information overload.
Okay, let's unpack this blueprint then. And I think we have to start at the point of greatest friction, which is the transition state.
The threshold.
The threshold. The way the script handles leaving the outside world is absolutely critical for mental rest. So let's begin right there.
That makes sense.
So the narrative begins with you, the listener, standing at the edge of a peaceful, sleeping city. It's under a cool, kind night, wrapped in this soft, velvety darkness. My first question is, why at the edge of the city? Why not just start in the forest or somewhere completely isolated?
That is a fundamental distinction in, let's call it, relaxation design. It's a very deliberate choice. Starting you off in total isolation can sometimes, for some people, trigger primal anxieties.
The feeling of being exposed.
Exactly. Exposed or even abandoned. What's so fascinating here is the immediate contrast the script sets up. You have the presence of the city, but it's asleep. It's there, but its activity is suspended.
So it's a known quantity, but it's not demanding anything.
That's it. It serves as profound reassurance. It confirms that the world is still operational, it's stable, but it is not currently demanding anything from you. It's the mental equivalent of checking the locks one last time before you allow your vigilance to drop.
I like that. And the phrase cool and kind night also functions as an immediate sensory filter, doesn't it? We're replacing the harsh, sharp, demanding stimuli of daylight or, screen light with something that is described as benevolent.
Benevolent and enveloping, we're filtering the input precisely. When the mind is stressed, it enters a state of hypervigilance. It's constantly scanning the environment for threats.
Right. What's that noise? What's that light?
Always. The description of the night as cool and kind immediately assigns this benign, protective quality to the darkness. It signals to the nervous system that the environment is safe, it's welcoming, not hostile. It's a deliberate substitution of artificial pressure with organic, protective reassurance.
And then there's the path itself. The instruction is to walk along a narrow stone path with steps that are, and I quote, unhurried, light, and easy. The footsteps make a soft echo. This isn't just scenic description, is it? It feels like a forced pacing mechanism.
It absolutely is, 100%. This pacing is intentional because it counteracts the physiological drive of stress, which is, it's often characterized by hurried, irregular, and often shallow breathing and movement.
The fight or flight scramble.
The scramble. So walking slowly along a narrow path, focusing only on the light, easy steps, establishes a forced meditative rhythm. It requires just enough focus to stop your mind from racing ahead, but not so much focus that it becomes a cognitive task. This is key to what we call embodied cognition.
Using the body to tell the mind what to do.
Yes, using the physical action of walking to regulate the internal state of calmness.
And what about the auditory details? They're very subtle. The soft echo of your own steps, the faint sounds of the night, a rustle of leaves, a faraway whisper of a breeze. Why does the script avoid total silence?
Because total silence can be interpreted by the brain as an unnatural state. Sometimes it actually increases auditory vigilance. The brain starts listening harder for the absence of sound.
Huh. I never thought of it that way.
The non-threatening background noise mentioned in the source material is a masterful touch. These sounds, the breeze, the soft rustle, they serve as what we call continuous ambient reassurance.
Yeah.
They're confirmation that you are safe and that the environment is predictable. They require no active attention, no interpretation. Unlike a sudden, sharp noise, these sounds confirm the continuity of life in nature. They serve as an organic, wordless lullaby that stabilizes the internal environment.
So as we approach the structure, the library, it's described as tall and graceful, half hidden in shadow and moonlight, defined by these wide arched windows. There's this blend of mystery and monumentality.
And that architecture speaks to permanence and refuge, doesn't it? It's tall, suggesting it rises above the daily chaos. The wide-arched windows are inviting. They indicate openness and light, even if it's currently shadowed. But let's focus on the door.
The single wooden door.
The single wooden door that seems to glow faintly, as if remembering every visitor.
I was struck by that image. A door that remembers. It's such a personal, strange idea.
It's a powerful psychological anchor. If the goal is deep restorative rest, the mind has to feel secure and accepted. A single door that remembers you, it just eliminates the anxiety of newness or struggle or rejection.
Right, you don't have to figure out how to get in.
It's familiar, it's personal, and it implies a history of welcome. It immediately sets the entry process as personal and safe. And then there's that crucial moment just before entry. Resting your hand against the cool, smooth wood and listening. The source is so explicit here. The sound on the other side is a deep, comforting stillness, like the pause before sleep.
So we have anticipatory calm. We know exactly what awaits us, and it's specifically the antithesis of the chaotic noise we just left behind.
Yes. The mind is conditioned through, repeated exposure to stress to anticipate conflict or challenge upon entering a new space. By explicitly defining the interior sound as stillness, the script preemptively dissolves that anticipatory anxiety.
It answers the question before you can even ask it.
Exactly. And the final act, the door opening silently as though it has been waiting, speaks to inevitability and acceptance. There's no struggle, no creaking hinge, no resistance. Rest is presented not as a goal to be fought for, but as a state that effortlessly welcomes you. This sets the tone for the entire journey. Surrender is easy here.
Okay, so we've crossed the threshold, and the moment we do, there's this immediate, comprehensive sensory shift. A soft, golden light spills out, washing over your face. The interior is described as a vast, forgotten library with a ceiling that soars high, curving into arching shapes like waves frozen in time.
That visual expanse is essential for combating cognitive load. When people are overwhelmed by information, the very stress that the learner is often carrying, they often feel mentally compressed or claustrophobic.
Like the walls are closing in.
Precisely. And research shows that high ceilings and vast spaces correlate with reduced psychological constraint and an increase in creative or peaceful thought. The sheer size of this library acts as a spacious container for the compressed mind. And that metaphor, waves frozen in time, is brilliant.
It's beautiful.
It is, because it takes the imagery of chaos and restless energy waves and it renders them utterly static and safe. It's dramatic, but it's profoundly still.
But I have to challenge one point here. The light. The source mentions tall windows stretching almost to the roof, with glass tinted the faintest blue. And this blue tint lets in a peaceful morning light even though the world outside is still night. If the objective is deep sleep, doesn't introducing a symbol of wakefulness, of dawn, create a kind of cognitive dissonance?
That is a compelling and a necessary question. And you're right, if the light were bright, white, or yellow, yes, it would absolutely signal alertness and it would disrupt melatonin production. But the key is in the details. The faint blue tint and the description, peaceful morning light.
Okay.
This is a deliberate manipulation of emotional light, not chronological light. Blue light is often associated with clarity and calm, and the concept of morning carries the psychological promise of renewal and a clear-headed start, but crucially, without the burden of having to perform the day.
Ah, so it's the feeling of morning without the to-do list.
That's it exactly. It's the peace of dawn, separated entirely from the work of the day. It's a neurological trick designed to foster peace independent of the external reality of time. We are receiving the emotional benefit of renewal without the pressure of the clock.
That reframes it entirely for me. It's hope without demand.
Exactly. The script is creating an environment where the rules of the outside world are suspended. Now, let's talk about probably the most crucial non-visual element here.
The smell.
The atmosphere. defined by an incredibly specific, stabilizing scent profile. The air is cool and still, carrying the scent of old pages, polished wood, a hint of dust, and something like vanilla.
That combination is so evocative. It's described as smelling like quiet afternoons, rain on stone, and forgotten memories. It's almost poetic.
It's a masterpiece of sensory anchoring. It's targeting the limbic system, the part of the brain responsible for emotion, memory, and crucially survival. The sense of smell bypasses the analytical brain most directly.
So you feel it before you can even think about it.
Instantly. Old pages and polished wood immediately evoke stability, permanence, intellectual safety. This is a sanctuary built on tradition and endurance. The hint of dust prevents it from feeling sterile or clinical. It suggests age and benign neglect. It implies nothing demanding has happened here in a very long time.
But let's focus on the vanilla, because that seems like the intentional synthetic layer of comfort added to all these natural, earthy elements.
Vanilla is indeed the key psychological ingredient. Culturally and often scientifically, vanilla is linked to feelings of warmth, sweetness, and deep, often infantile nostalgia. It's one of the few universally comforting scents, often associated with home, baking, safety. The combination is a synthesized aroma of profound, non-urgent security. It tells the deepest part of your brain. You are safe, you are home, and you are not required to be productive.
So it is designed to feel like the safest, most stable home imaginable, but free from the actual stresses, the obligations, the relationship complexities that often plague our real homes.
It's purified emotional safety. Precisely. And the final touch is the sense of belonging. Even though your footsteps make soft echoes that float away, the narrative confirms that despite being alone, the feeling is one of complete safety and welcome, as if the library has opened itself just for you.
You are alone, but you are prioritized.
Yes. The vast space doesn't make you feel small or lost. It makes you feel singularly important and protected. The cognitive message is clear. You have exclusive access to this sanctuary of calm.
Okay, so moving into the main space, the script shifts the focus to slow, purposeful navigation. We're walking slowly along the central aisle, and the shelves rise up like silent guardians.
And that symbolism is vital. Guardians imply protection, comprehensive power. This space holds all the world's knowledge and complexity. But critically, they are silent.
They're not shouting at you.
They're not demanding attention or effort from you right now. The books are waiting, but they're not calling out. The mental shift is, I am supported by this knowledge, but I do not have to access it.
And we return to the light visuals here. These thin shafts of light falling from the tall windows, creating gentle stripes of gold and blue across the floor. The sensation is described as feeling the slight warmth of the light, as if each beam is blessing you with calm.
This uses movement through space as a physical confirmation cue for the nervous system. You're not just visualizing light, you are physically walking into it.
Right, it's a physical act.
It's a classic application of that embodied cognition we mentioned. The brain associates the physical act of moving through the light with the emotional outcome of receiving a blessing. It reinforces the safety and the positive intent of your environment with every deliberate step. The photons themselves are reframed as a benevolent energy.
And the destination gives the movement purpose. Far ahead, framed by a tallest arch, there's this glowing opening, a radiance where windows gather, and it serves as a soft, guiding star.
The destination anchors the slow movement, but, and this is critical, it does not set an urgent deadline.
It's not a finish line you have to race to.
Not at all. It's a destination without a clock. It fulfills the mind's natural desire for progress. We need to feel like we are moving towards something. But because it's soft radiance, it demands no sudden effort. It symbolizes moving toward clarity and rest. It's the visual affirmation that there is a guaranteed, effortless reward for maintaining this slow, mindful pace.
And the narrative directly ties this movement to physical relaxation. With every step toward this light, the body is described as feeling heavier, wonderfully heavy, anchoring the listener into rest. Why is heavy described as wonderful? I mean, we spend our entire lives fighting gravity.
That is the genius of the phrase. Gravity is the constant enemy of vigilance. When we're stressed, our muscles are in a constant state of low-level isometric tension, ready for fight or flight. We are literally holding ourselves up, bracing against the world. By reframing gravity as a supportive force, a wonderful heavy, the script cues the body to stop fighting. It essentially tells the body, you are supported. Gravity is your friend now. This is a core principle of autogenic training, where the feeling of warmth and heaviness is used to systematically reduce muscle tone and neurological vigilance.
And the script ensures that this surrender is comprehensive, by cueing specific relaxation points. The shoulders loosening, the jaw unclenches, the muscles around the eyes grow soft.
And those are the three major unconscious reservoirs of physical stress. It's so specific. They're caused by concentration and anxiety. We hold tension in our shoulders, right? Carrying the weight of responsibilities.
Yep.
Our jaws clenched against frustration or effort. And our eye muscles strained by screens and hypervigilance. By explicitly naming and cueing these areas for release, the narrative ensures a systematic, full-body surrender. It translates the mental journey into a complete physiological state of supported rest.
As we continue this slow, supported walk, we start to notice small treasures tucked between the books. They're said to belong to past visitors. A small brass globe, with the continents worn smooth by many hands, a feather pen and a glass inkwell, a faded map tied with a blue ribbon.
These hidden objects serve a deep psychological function. It's about continuity and shared experience. Stress and worry often feel isolating. They convince us our unique pressures are overwhelming.
You're the only one going through this.
Exactly. The brass globe, worn smooth by countless hands, immediately suggests that this sanctuary is a shared space. Countless others across generations have sought and found peace here before you. This immediately diminishes the unique pressure of your own stress. You're participating in an ancient, successful ritual of release.
They feel like gentle, nonverbal markers of human history and exploration.
That's a great way to put it. The presence of the feather pen and the inkwell implies that active writing and striving, the production of information, has been set down. The exploration is over for the moment. Similarly, the faded map tied with a blue ribbon signifies journeys taken and completed. The map is not for planning the next trip, it's a relic of accomplishment. It is a visual confirmation that the time for active striving, for planning, for mental effort is temporarily suspended. They validate the act of pausing and resting, suggesting that pausing is not failure, but completion.
So we pause before a shelf, and a book leans slightly forward, signaling selection. It has a deep, calming blue cover, sprinkled with tiny golden dots like stars. But the most crucial detail is what it lacks. It has no title.
No title.
Only a small symbol. A simple circle with a single line through it, like a rising sun on a silent horizon.
The lack of a title is fundamental to this cognitive tool. Any title, even how to relax, would demand analysis, categorization, memory retrieval, all activities of the hypervigilant prefrontal cortex.
The part of the brain you're trying to put to sleep.
The very part you're trying to get to disengage. The untitled book is not a task. It's an invitation. The symbol, the rising sun on a silent horizon, it's a non-threatening archetype of cyclical renewal. It suggests beginning and hope, which is comforting, but crucially, it's paired with silence, meaning no effort is required to achieve that renewal. It's a peaceful promise that rest will lead to restoration, guaranteed by the natural order of things.
And when we open it, the book is not filled with words.
Mm-hmm.
The mind is spared the task of reading. Instead, it holds soft, changing images like reflections on still water, a quiet lake under a star-filled sky, a field of long grass swaying, a small cottage with a glowing candle.
This shift to pure, non-narrative visualization is just brilliant. Words require intellectual processing, syntax, meaning extraction. Images, particularly these archetypes of low-stimulus peace, are absorbed passively. The mind simply receives the visualization.
There's no work to do.
Zero cognitive effort. The reflections on still water metaphor captures the ideal internal state, undisturbed, placid, and responsive only to the gentle flow of light. The cottage with a glowing candle, for example, is a near universal symbol of interior warmth, refuge, and contained safety.
The effect described is that the images sink gently into the mind, leaving a residue of calm. The realization follows that it is a book of rest, offering back every peaceful moment ever experienced there as a gift.
That phrase, residue of calm, so elegantly explains the passive absorption model. You are not actively working to be calm, you are simply allowing the positive input to settle. The book acts as a mirror, but one that reflects only your best, most restful internal memories.
That's powerful feedback.
It is. It reinforces the positive cycle. The calm you find is genuinely yours, synthesized from your own peaceful history, and the library is merely gifting it back. This fundamentally reframes the seeking of rest from an external search to an internal retrieval process.
And then there's the act of closure, which is almost ceremonial. You hold the book to your chest, like hugging a secret, and then you carefully replace it.
The physical act of holding the book to the chest anchors the feeling of peace in the body, making the sensation tangible and visceral. But the replacement, returning the calm to its source, allowing it to nestle back, content, and at home, is a crucial step of cognitive offloading.
What do you mean by that?
You are not clinging desperately to the calm you just achieved, which often causes a subtle tension. Instead, you secure that memory, trusting it is safely stored in the library. This frees the mind from the need to actively retain or analyze the state, allowing for genuine surrender to the next phase of the journey.
So we're now invited deeper. There's this deep, friendly silence, broken only by the faintest rustle, pages turning by themselves, or perhaps the whisper of the building as it breathes. This personification of the building is interesting.
The personification creates a sense of profound companionship and stillness. It's not just an inanimate structure, it's a living guardian of rest. And before the ascent, you're still connected to the physical environment. You're brushing your fingers along the cool, firm spines of books, noticing others that are faintly warm.
As if someone was just there.
Exactly. This constant, gentle, tactile stimulus keeps you grounded in the present moment, integrating the history of the place. The warm books suggest recent successful use by others. It's more reassurance.
And then we come to the staircase, a wide stone staircase spiraling gently upward into a softly glowing blue light. The spiraling element is key here, isn't it?
Yeah.
It avoids the straight, hurried urgency of a normal staircase.
Oh, absolutely. A straight staircase implies efficient, immediate effort. A gentle spiral is inherently meditative. It's nonlinear progress. It allows you to focus on the process, not just the destination. The upward movement is symbolic. You're moving away from the low ground of daily stress and the heavy density of worries.
So the physical ascent provides the structure for the most important cognitive step here, the systematic process of letting go.
Yes. And with each slow step up, you imagine leaving something behind. A small worry, a lingering thought, a tiny tension. And they fall away like old dust. The power here is that you do not need to name or dissect the worry.
Which is what we always try to do, right? Analyze the problem.
All the time. The analytical mind thrives on naming, labeling, and dissecting problems, which, when you are trying to rest, just leads to rumination. By framing the worries simply as old dust, benign detritus, the narrative assigns them a quality of insignificance. You bypass the analytical engine entirely. You are not fighting a monster, you are just brushing off dust.
Just the feeling of growing lighter.
The instruction is intuitive. Just experience the feeling of growing lighter. This reinforces that autogenic principle that muscle release and cognitive release are intertwined.
And the rhythm of the ascent is also vital here. The calm, regular rhythm of footsteps and gentle breath melting together into this soothing pattern.
That rhythm is the integration of physical movement and physiological control. It forces synchronization. The regular pattern turns the ascent into a form of, let's say, moving hypnosis or meditation. It anchors you into a predictable, safe pattern, carrying you upward, literally lifting you out of the mental weight you arrived with. The reduction of vigilance becomes an automatic consequence of the physical action. The rhythm is the internal metronome of calm.
So we arrive at the long balcony overlooking the Grand Hall. And this is a dramatic shift in perspective. The script says the person who walked in carrying the weight of the day now feels like someone from a much earlier time. Up here, you're confirmed as being lighter and calmer.
This elevation provides essential emotional and cognitive detachment. By viewing the self who walked in as a historical figure, someone from a much earlier time, you successfully separate your current conscious awareness from the immediate urgency of yesterday's problems.
That weight belongs to someone else now.
It belongs to a past, historical version of you. The elevated vantage point confirms the success of the release process that you initiated on the staircase. It gives the nervous system confirmation that the threat, the day's burdens, is now below you, distant and manageable.
And the balcony then transitions us from movement to profound stillness with these small alcoves, each containing a cozy chair or deep cushioned seat and a small glowing lamp.
The alcoves provide psychological security. They're semi-enclosed, protective nooks within the vastness, offering intimacy without claustrophobia. But the key mechanism here is the explicit suspension of time. The script highlights vases holding dried flowers, beauty that is quiet, non-demanding, and faded browns and creams.
And the detail that really stopped me. The tiny hourglasses with sand resting perfectly still, indicating that time is paused out of respect for your rest.
I mean, that is the ultimate counter-command to the internal clock that constantly demands productivity, efficiency, and hurry. The hourglass, the definitive symbol of passing, fleeting time, is stopped.
It's broken in your favor.
It's broken in your favor. This mechanism explicitly tells the mind, Here, in this sanctuary, time is subservient to your biological need for rest. This offers enormous psychological relief. It ensures that you are not anxiously monitoring the passage of time or the effort required to fall asleep. You have limitless space to simply be.
The user then chooses a soft, inviting seat upholstered in a deep, calming blue beside a lamp with a golden shade. The body sinks deeply into stillness, welcomed by the cushion. This is the moment for deep, supported anchoring.
The colors, the calming blue, the warm gold, provide a visually soothing palette. The deep sinking into the cushion is the physical confirmation that the body is fully supported. The body has been told it is wonderfully heavy, and now the cushion confirms that the external world is accepting that weight. This confirmation loop is vital. The conscious mind is now free because the physical body is completely trusted and accommodated.
And on the table lies the second book, already open. This one is filled with hand-drawn maps, but not of countries.
Yeah.
There are maps of feelings, paths through forests of calm, rivers of slow, steady breathing, mountains of quiet strength.
This is a beautiful way to externalize the internal state for gentle management. These are templates for emotional navigation. When the mind is allowed to run wild, internal feelings can seem abstract and overwhelming. By visualizing a path that curves through a valley called ease and a river named letting go, you are given a gentle, low-stakes narrative structure to organize your own inner state.
It makes the abstract feel concrete.
It transforms the overwhelming abstract nature of stress into tangible, navigable geographic features.
The process encourages you to trace the path with your finger, and following this line makes your breath automatically follow, smoothing out and lengthening. How does this simple motor action regulate the breath?
It's a very sophisticated biofeedback mechanism. The mind is given a simple, non-stressful motor task tracing a line. Because the line is designed to curve smoothly through ease, the visual and tactile input naturally cues a slow, deliberate physical pace. This gentle pace, in turn, forces the regulation of the involuntary function of breathing. If you move slowly, your breath has to slow down to support that movement.
So you're tricking your body into relaxing.
It's active relaxation guided by subtle visualization. You're tricking the autonomic nervous system into peace.
And the final visualization technique in this section, mentally walking the path beside the river. Small stones plop into the current with a soft musical sound. Each stone represents a thought from the day, sinking into the water and being carried away.
This is cognitive disposal with an auditory reward. Thoughts, which often feel massive and immovable, are reduced to small, benign object stones. The river is the passive transportation mechanism. You don't have to push them away. The current does all the work.
And the plop.
And the soft musical plopping sound confirms the successful disappearance of the thought from immediate relevance. It establishes a rhythmic, positive feedback cue for successful cognitive offloading. This technique is specifically designed to prevent rumination. The thought is not argued with or suppressed. It is simply archived by the universe.
Okay, we're moving into the final section. The heart of stillness and final release. The lamp grows dimmer, soft as the last light of evening. The silence thickens into a gentle embrace. That tactile description of silence is compelling.
It uses a physical sensation, being hugged or embraced, to define an auditory state which cements the feeling of security. You are not just entering a quiet room, you're being actively enveloped by benevolent stillness. And then we hear a crucial sound. A slow, rhythmic sound from below, the heartbeat of the building itself.
The heartbeat of the building. That is personification taken to a level of, parental warmth and safety.
It connects to our most primitive, earliest auditory comfort cues. It mimics the stable, rhythmic sounds of the womb or a parent's chest. When the conscious mind is shutting down, the primal brain must still be reassured. This slow, rhythmic pulse is the ultimate expression of safety and stability. You are being held and protected by something fundamental, consistent, and alive. It removes the fear of silence or isolation.
We then move through an archway with delicate carvings into a circular chamber at the very heart of the library.
And the circular architecture provides a strong sense of centeredness and completion. There's no direction to wander off to. You've reached the core sanctuary. The domed ceiling, painted with calm night sky and faintly luminous stars, turns the space into a personal, protective planetarium.
So you're inside, but you're also connected to the cosmos.
Exactly. It combines the safety of the interior with the vast, quiet reassurance of the cosmos. Everything here is gently hushed, providing maximum sensory buffering.
In the center, a large round table of smooth, dark wood, holding the ultimate treasure, the final book. It rests on the table, larger than the others, cover simple and unmarked, tied with a soft ribbon of silver cloth. This is the final ritual.
The simplicity and the scale elevate its significance. The book is unmarked because it's meant to transcend external labeling. The silver ribbon suggests something delicate, precious, and sacred, and upon opening, the pages are blank. They're just waiting patiently.
The ultimate confrontation with silence.
It is. The mind, trained throughout the day to seek input, must now confront the void, and this leads to the most profound realization of the whole journey.
That the book is meant not for worries or tasks, but for holding the shape of your breath, the rhythm of your heart, the gentle weight of your body as it relaxes.
This is the profound turning point. It shifts the focus from external knowledge to internal observation. The mind is redirected from seeking answers out there to observing its own quiet biological wisdom. The most important wisdom you can acquire right now is the confirmation of your own resting state. This is the core practice of advanced relaxation, framed beautifully as a literary object. The blankness demands that you finally pay attention to your own internal metrics.
And here's where the narrative affirmation takes physical form. As you relax, the book faintly glows. Invisible ink responds, and lens of soft light appear, forming quiet words that are understood without reading them. You are safe. You are held. You are allowed to rest.
This is the central, tripartite affirmation that counters the core anxieties of the modern mind. They're delivered not as external commands, but as a realization stemming from the user's own peaceful state. Because the words appear after relaxation begins, the narrative confirms that rest itself is the key that unlocks safety.
So you are safe addresses the underlying anxiety of threat.
You are held addresses the need for support and control. You don't have to carry your own weight. And you are allowed to rest addresses that deep-seated cultural pressure to be productive. It gives explicit permission for non-effort.
And the subsequent physical response is described as immediate. Shoulders soften even more, the neck loosens, the spine feels comfortably supported, as if the air is a pillow.
The cognitive affirmation is instantly translated into physiological surrender. The body now has both the implicit physical support of the cushion and the explicit cognitive permission of the luminous words to let go entirely. The feeling of the air being a pillow is the final total surrender. You're trusting the environment, the very air around you, to bear your weight.
We then transition to the final act of rest, lying down on a gentle cushion on a nearby bench. The chamber lights dim, the stars on the ceiling grow brighter, twinkling lazily. And the open book's pages are now filled with a soft, shimmering script, a record of this very moment of finding stillness.
This concept of the record of rest is just immensely comforting because it establishes the permanence and validity of the calm you've achieved. It assures the mind that this achievement is real, it's documented, and it's repeatable. The certainty that the library has watched over countless people seeking release, and will watch over you too, securely anchors the decision to let go of wakefulness.
And the ambient sounds solidify into a final lullaby, the slow, steady pulse of the building, the creak of old beams, the inaudible breath of air, the soft rustle of pages far away.
These sounds, which the stressed mind might categorize as potential threats, a creak, a rustle, are now redefined as rhythmic, wordless reassurances. The narrative successfully converts potential environmental noise into internal comfort, confirming that the entire structure, your sanctuary, is also settling down for the night. It establishes a shared, collective state of rest.
And the narrative provides a final, systematic instruction for deepening the breath, linking it back to the earlier imagery. Inhale light from the golden windows below. Exhale release from the tension in hands, feet, face. Inhale calm. Exhale any remaining thought.
This is the ultimate focused cleaning of the mind and body. By using the visual anchor of the golden light, the inhale is linked to something positive and energetic, a regenerative force. And critically, the exhale is specifically directed at peripheral tension points, hands, feet, face, the extremities where we so often clench and hold residual effort. This systematic physical cue ensures total cessation of effort, preparing the body for sleep.
And now this technique, the shelving of thoughts, which is arguably the most practical and elegant piece of psychological engineering in the entire script.
I agree.
If any intrusive thought tries to rise, you imagine placing it gently on a small piece of paper and slipping that paper between the pages of a book on the shelf. The book closes with a soft, friendly sound, promising to keep the thought safely until another day.
This is the ultimate cognitive coping mechanism because it tackles the famous rebound effect of thought suppression. If you try to fight an intrusive thought, you paradoxically activate the very cognitive resources you are trying to shut
You
down.
just end up thinking about it more.
Louder and louder. The library's method respects the thought. It acknowledges its importance, but then it offers to archive it. You are engaging in an act of temporary trust, assuring yourself that the burden is safely held by the library, freeing your mind entirely for the night. And the book, closing with a soft, friendly sound, provides that acoustic confirmation that the task is complete and the thought is secure.
So instead of suppression, which is stressful, we are practicing non-urgent cognitive offloading.
Precisely. It's an act of mental delegation. You no longer carry the thought, the library does. And this whole meticulous structure leads to the definitive marker of deep rest.
The bell?
A bell chimes once, far below or far away, with a low, gentle tone like a drop of silver falling into a calm pool. This marks the beginning of the deepest, easiest sleep.
That single chime is the ceremonial crossing of the final threshold. It's final, it's definitive, yet perfectly gentle. It ushers the mind out of the narrative and into the state of surrender.
And this final section concludes with the promise of return. The gentle certainty that the library can be returned to any time just by closing your eyes and picturing the arches, the golden light, the waiting books. This is the ultimate gift of the script. It provides a permanent, accessible psychological resource. You're empowered with the knowledge that you possess the key to this fully engineered sanctuary whenever stress or sleeplessness returns. It establishes a reliable cognitive anchor point for future use.
This has been a truly comprehensive deep dive into the architecture of tranquility. It reveals how a simple narrative can be a powerful, systematic piece of cognitive engineering. Let's summarize maybe the three most surprising structural takeaways for the learner.
For me, I think the first key takeaway is the sophisticated hierarchy of sensory anchors. The script doesn't just ask you to imagine a calm place. It uses that specific engineered scent profile, vanilla dust, old pages to bypass conscious analysis.
Right. The direct line to the limbic system.
To trigger deep, non-threatening nostalgia and safety. It anchors memory and comfort outside the realm of rational thought.
The second critical structural insight for me is the systematic process of embodied release. This wasn't just a flash of inspiration. It was achieved through physical metaphors. The spiraling staircase where worries fell away like old dust, and the river map where thoughts were externalized as stones and carried away with that auditory confirmation, the plop. The learner needs to understand that releasing stress is often a rhythmic, physical process of reframing gravity as support, achieved through paced movement and gentle cognitive disposal.
Absolutely. And the third, and I think the most profound element, was the symbolic power of that ultimate blank self-writing book. It redefined what wisdom is in this context. True rest isn't found in external knowledge or tasks. It's found in the affirmation of your internal state. The book recording the shape of your breath. The words that appear, "You are safe, you are held, you are allowed to rest," are a complete, tailored antidote to modern anxiety, delivered only when the mind surrenders.
And finally, that elegant cognitive technique of shelving intrusive thoughts. Instead of the high-stress task of suppression, the library offers archiving. It's an act of temporary trust, assuring you that the burdens will be safely held until the morning, completely freeing the mind for the night. This deep dive really shows that even the pursuit of relaxation requires high-level design.
This entire structure is a blueprint for internal infrastructure. It's a tool for you to understand how to build your own sanctuary, whether physically or mentally. And if we take that ultimate revelation that the blank book records the quietest moments of your heart and breath, I want to leave you with this final provocative thought derived directly from the source material. If your book of rest were to open right now, what specific unwritten details of your own stillness would it contain? What is the unwritten wisdom in your current moment of calm? Something to ponder as you seek your own inner sanctuary tonight, knowing you have the blueprint to build it.
That is a wonderful grounding quote to close on. Thank you for joining us on this deep dive into the architecture of tranquility. We'll see you next time.